Jason, I'm having a hard time hearing the
Last person.
call-ins.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy,
I hear you.
okay, that's better. Who else do we have now?
Sounds like Ben. Huh? So you only have 3. This is me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have 3 plus, so we have a quorum.
Okay.
I think it's Ben.
Okay. Ben, are you on the line now? We've got Chris in council chambers. We've got Randy on the line, Jennifer, and who is our third call-in user?
See him try him. We don't hear him.
I just heard the voice.
Oh, they hung up.
Don't give them that choice.
Not an option.
Yeah.
No, it is.
Do we have a quorum yet?
We have 4 that show up. Can I get a roll call one more time? Jennifer,
Jennifer Barnes?
Randy,
Here.
is there a third call-in? I'm not hearing a third.
One of you's using his phone. It's using a phone.
Stand by, guys. We're trying to figure out who the mystery guest is. If we can get some audio from him.
They're not even there anymore.
Jason, you want me to? They hung up.
The other guy did.
We just lost someone. Maybe they'll try back.
Randy Kelly.
Yeah, we can hear him.
I'm on the telephone.
Oh, so he was the third.
Ah,
I
thought you
tried
had
the video
Walmart
connection, but all it does is say connecting and it never actually connects. So I dial in
Okay.
on the phone too.
Okay.
all right, great. Thank you.
Sorry if I
Stan?
caused confusion by that.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm still waiting on that.
Yeah, we're
I'm going to try the
so
video again too. Is that all right?
Yeah, you can stay on the phone and do the video. That's fine.
Okay.
Just make sure you mute your computer. We are two.
Pardon?
We are live streaming right now.
Okay.
William Gray was unable to attend. Miss Childers did just say that she was out of town and she wasn't able to make the call. Earlier, she said she could make it. Mr. Gause did respond and accept the invite. And then I haven't heard from Dr. Harris. I just sent him a text.
Dr. Harris may figure since he won the election that he automatically cannot
That wouldn't-
participate, perhaps.
He won the primaries, so Dr. Harris would have to step down once he assumes the school district board. He's on the school board come the election. I don't know if they're immediately after or what, but he did win the primary. So without a quorum, can we not do any business?
Nope.
Do we at least read the public comments or no? If someone came, no, we can't even do that.
No.
Was Chris not there either?
Yes. Chairman is here.
Okay, we still have a quorum, right?
But we still, even with my vote, there's only 3, so
So
no quorum, no quorum as of this time. We're gonna give it a few more minutes, guys, and then we'll call it. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Yes. Guess I think there's 7 members.
That's it. I know, that's what we told them.
Well, since we're just sitting here and not actually having a meeting, I got the email regarding doing the online training session. Has anyone done that yet, or?
This is Jeff DeWitt. I'm off to the side here. I have tried to look, I've been intending to look into that. And I have done training through the municipal association before, and I have not specifically done planning and zoning this particular training. The stuff they have done in the past has always been very well designed and pretty user friendly. So, you know, I would expect this to be well done as well, but I don't know if any of the other members have tried yet either. No one has contacted me or said anything plus or minus about it, positive or negative.
I'm confused about, I believe that it said once you started, if you got disconnected, you couldn't restart where you ended off. And that's my only concern because we have such spotty internet availability out here in the Dinkinsville area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's obviously a concern. That's, yeah, and that training was put together by the municipal association. So in a municipality, you typically don't have that problem, and they don't deal with people in counties where you have people living in rural areas. So perhaps at some point they may be able to work that bug out of the system, but I don't know that there has been any demand for that or not. So,
Well, I haven't tried anything yet, but my mom's been here since the pandemic started, and we're doing a renovation project in our house down in Aiken. So I've been back and forth.
oh goodness.
But in theory, going home this weekend, so I should be able to try it. And if I have to, maybe drive down to the recreation center where I've been told they have Wi-Fi there available outside the building. So maybe that would work.
Yeah, I've had 30, 45 minutes breaks between meetings before and stopped at the library and sat in the parking lot and had cell Wi-Fi service
Okay, well, that's good to know.
also. Yeah. Pardon? The fire department, yeah, the fire department, Ridgeway, maybe others. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Well, funny, Ridgeway's almost a mile from here.
yeah, my wife works at the Lawrence County Library, and they commonly go by. They'll get there first thing in the morning, and there'll be people sitting in the parking lot using the Wi-Fi, or late at night, and whatever. So that's always an option.
I think Chris just mentioned that Dr. Harris may be calling in, so stand by, guys.
Okay.
Randy, we've got your video feed coming in. We don't have audio though.
How's that?
Oh, perfect. There we go.
I'm going to go back on mute.
So what's the deal?
He's trying to
Okay.
comment.
That's so Dr. Harris is trying to call.
Yeah, have you reached him, Chris? Trying to get in now.
Randy, it's my understanding that your term has expired. Do you have intentions of, do you have a personal preferences to stay on or to roll off or what?
Well, I was asked by, I think Jeff sent me an email, or Chris sent me an email asking me if I would extend one more year, and I said that I would.
Okay, great. Do we have another call-in user?
And you'll notice, Mr. Kelly, that I did spell your name correctly this time too. So
Much appreciated, Jeff. Thank you.
I've had that problem through the years with my name as well. So I certainly understand.
I was really only joking when I responded that way, trying to negotiate a little bit, maybe.
Dr. Harris, do we have your audio?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Mhm.
Sounds like we have a quorum now. If everyone's prepared, I think it's 6:18. I'll go ahead and call the September 2020 Fairfield County Planning Commission to order. I would like Mr. DeWitt has asked that I have roll call just to confirm. I think we've got it down here, but Jennifer,
Present?
Randy,
I'm here.
James,
Here.
thank you.
Okay.
All right, guys. If everyone's had the second agenda on the second item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. If everyone's had a chance to read over the ones from, I guess that was June. If there's any questions, comments, if not, I will accept a motion to approve.
So moved. This is Randy.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jennifer. All in favor of approval of the minutes, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. No oppose. All right, thank you. We have two items of new business. The first item is a rezone from R2 to B1 for Rockton Baptist Church property. If everybody's had a chance to review the handout from the staff report, this is 1.6 acres. I guess the property is located the intersections of Winter, Crane, and Sandifer Streets in Winsboro. At this time, I will ask if staff will give their report, and after that, we will open the floor for any comments.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening, members of the Planning Commission. Rockton Baptist Church is partnering with the Midlands STEM Charter School to promote the school, and they're working together as partners. And the school would like to expand and build a school building on the vacant property that is currently across the street from the church, and that's the subject property here, about 1.6 acres. And it's not totally vacant. I shouldn't have used that term. There's a fire station over on one corner of the property now. This property is on the south side of Winsboro. It's surrounded by either residentially zoned businesses, R2 zoning, and it does have some business district, B2 zoning adjacent to it as well. The reason that they're requesting a rezone is that, as I said, they wanted to build a school. They wanted to have a small modular building. I think they're saying something like 40 by 60, I believe, is the size of the building that they're planning there. As it's currently zoned R2, schools are permitted in the R2 district. A fire station is permitted in the R2 district. The problem or the challenge is that according to the land management ordinance, you cannot have two primary purposes on the same parcel. So you can either develop a fire station there or a school building, but according to the ordinance, you cannot have both. So they had the option of either subdividing the parcel or seeking rezoning, and they chose the latter option, to rezone. By rezoning to B1, which is a limited business, that will allow more than one principal use to be implemented on this parcel. And that's really the gist of what this is all about. And if there are any other questions or anything, I'll be glad to entertain questions or comments or anything else.
All right. Thank you, Mr. DeWitt. So it's my understanding that there is an adjacent property to the subject property that has the similar zoning as to the one that they're trying to acquire. If there are any comments by Planning Commission, please state your name and then any questions or comments, and we'll be glad to discuss. So I'll open the floor for comments at this time.
This is Randy, Mr. Chairman. I have a question, just something that I think needs some clarification, but it looks like the tax map is incorrect in the name of the street or the address of the church. It says Cain, C-A-I-N Street. And I think that's supposed to be Crane Street, is it not?
Yes, that is correct. And that is, I guess, an error within the tax assessor's records. But
Yeah.
yes, it should be CRA. It's correct on the map or on the aerial photograph. It's CRANE. It's not.
The Kane Street. We'll get with the assessor as well to update that. Thank you.
Okay. Can I ask one more question?
Please. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, looking at the property, you kind of helped me a little bit, Jeff, when you mentioned the fairly small size of the building, but I'm just wondering when it comes time to get a construction permit, with the fire department already there, and this really doesn't have anything to do with whether the zoning is appropriate or not, but I just wonder how they're going to squeeze all that building and parking for the school and the fire department into that one little space. I mean, approving the zoning change doesn't guarantee that they're going to have a building permit approved, but that looks kind of challenging to me. Maybe they're just using the school building as a warehouse or something, and they don't need any parking. Who knows?
They've got parking on and the additional lot as well.
Okay.
Where the church building is at. So this would be a new modular for some of the classes, like as an overflow area. Currently, all the schooling is on those just south of Crane Street, the two church buildings. That's where all the schooling is taking place right now, to the best of my knowledge. So they're trying to move on another module. I believe they've already even laid out where they wanted to prefer placing the structure as well. So I don't foresee there'd be any issues. I don't know if we've run the numbers on the number of vehicles or parking. Granted, given this is a school, they're really, other than staff, there shouldn't be parking issues that I'm aware of. They do have that like racetrack looking thing where they filter the cars in and out for pickup, but parking itself, I don't believe is going to be a problem.
And this development also, it's being the design and engineering, it's being handled by a highly experienced design engineering firm out of Columbia that does a lot of public design projects. So they're very capable and very experienced in these types of issues. So if there's a design issue or something that comes up that would render this property, that would make this problem come to light, they probably would have identified that by now. They've been working on it for quite a while now.
I got you. Okay. The fire station fronts on Winter Street, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
so the two buildings are essentially will be pretty much back to back, right? Because if the school address is Crane Street and the fire station is They're pretty much back to back on that property. That's what it looks like.
I think were they not going to set the building, the modular, on the western portion, upper
Yeah.
western?
I have not seen a draft of the site plan, but yeah, that's my understanding from conversation that they were going to put it closer to the western boundary with the fuel oil company there, and kind of centered between the fire department and Crane Street. But again, that's based on conversations from some time back, and the engineers may have found a better arrangement for it by now.
Okay, thank you.
It'd be of note as well, we did not receive any comments or calls, to the best of my knowledge, for this either. Jeff, you didn't get any calls to date?
Sorry.
Any residents calling in on this?
We had one resident who called in simply as a matter of curiosity to wonder just what was going on, to explain the letter, and I explained it, and they were satisfied, and there was no opposition or anything else.
Any other comments, questions?
I'm just curious to know if anybody's had any concerns about it being beside the fuel oil company, a school structure.
That I believe that's no longer in
Pardon?
business. I don't know if that
The fuel
company
storage?
in-
Yeah.
is in business anymore. To the best of my knowledge, that's no longer the fuel company.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but no, I don't think they have a problem with it. I know that we never mind. I won't get into that. That building,
Right.
we did write them. They should be covering those windows or addressing the blight aspect of that building, though.
Right.
Given there is going to be a school structure, we did go ahead and take that from code enforcement standpoint.
Are there underground tanks there or just above ground tanks?
To the best of my knowledge, I don't think that's still a fuel dealer. I think they do some different work, but I mean, we can check on that. I
understand.
don't
I'm
think
just
there are
curious
any
if there's
underground.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, that's all I had.
Mhm.
Dr. Harris, any questions, comments? All right.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I've got you. Did you have any questions, comments, Dr. Harris?
No, I think you guys have addressed from the questions of the other committee members any concern that I may have had about it. So I'm good.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, I'll take any motions. Thank you. To the question of the rezone of the Rockton Baptist Church property from R2 to B1. Are there any motions?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the request as covered in the application and as presented.
I second such motion.
All right, thank you, Dr. Harris. We have a motion and a second. At this point, we'll call for the vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Jennifer,
I said aye.
thank you. Dr. Harris?
Aye.
All right, chairman votes in favor.
I think that's Ben Gaz, but granted, he did not.
Right,
So he just
okay. Gotcha. So that,
vote aye.
all right, thank you. Thank you, Ben. Motion carries. At this point, we will move to item number 2 on the agenda. This is another rezone. This property, which one is this? This is 8393 US Highway 21 North, north of Ridgeway, currently zoned R1. The request is to be rezoned to RD1, Rural Residential District. At this time, if we can get the staff to go over their reports, and I think there was one official opposed letter, and we'll have that read as well. So at this time, turn it over to the staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This second property is 17.61 acres, and it has a large frontage on Highway 21, a few miles north of Ridgeway. It's out near the rural community where River Road crosses Highway 21. It's just north of that intersection. Currently zoned R1, as are several of the properties out there that are residentially developed, and surrounding properties are overwhelmingly RD1. The applicant has expressed a desire. In fact, I spoke with Mr. Bacarizo today. He wants to build a storage building out there on the 17 acres. He told me today of storage and kind of the way he described it, a shop building, places to do work. It'll be strictly personal, not a commercial business. And he has a family member that lives in the area that will be of retirement age soon. And he said he wants to have a place for this family member to come and work and spend time. And I think he said the building, he's looking at developing something approximately 30 feet by 50 feet in area. So roughly 1,500 square feet is what he is wanting to do. Currently, there's a restriction in the R1 zoning district that puts a limit on accessory buildings. You can only have a building 50% in the area of the accessory building can only be 50% of the area of the primary building or the primary dwelling on the property in R1. So if you have a 2,000 square foot house, you can only have a 1,000 square feet of accessory buildings. And the way that we have interpreted this and that the department has been enforcing this requires that actually the main dwelling, that a house be present on the site, because if you don't have a primary dwelling there, then you have 0 square footage. Half of nothing is nothing. You can't build a storage building. You can't have any other use of the property. And the property owner said he will probably build and perhaps move here at some point, but right now he just wants to put a storage building out here. And that is kind of the story of this one. It does have R1 on a couple of sides, but there is a large RD1 tract across the street and catty corner to it. And I believe I've lost my place in the record here. Yeah, I believe the large tract to the south is that may be, yeah, that's RD1. It's a large, I think roughly a 50 acre tract adjacent to the subject site, 50 acres. It's also currently zoned RD1 to the south of this site. We have received one official communication in opposition to this rezoning. She has spoken, she's called me and spoke to me for a while, and she called Chris Clausen and spoke with him as well. And she has submitted her comments in writing. And at this time, I will read the letter. Excuse me, it's approximately 2 pages, in fact, 2 full pages typewritten, so bear with me. And it's addressed to the Planning Commission, Winsboro, South Carolina. It's dated September 22nd, 2020. To whom it may concern, please be advised that I, Joyce Green, am opposed to the rezoning of 8939 US Highway 21 North from being rezoned from an R1 to a RD1. According to the Land Management Ordinance 596 of Fairfield County, it defines Zone R1 as a single-family residential district. The purpose of this district is to foster, sustain, and protect areas in which the principal use of land is for single-family dwellings and support uses. I had my home built in 2007, and the reason that I chose to reside in the area that I live in is due to the privacy, seclusion from city living, quietness, tranquility, air quality, and the serene environment that it produces. This is where most will want to come and retire in their latter years. If this property is converted to a RD1, it will disrupt that which it was intended. Conversion to a RD1, which is described by the county as being the intent of the district to encourage rural residential and expanding urban development in accord with the comprehensive plan, while maintaining to the extent practical and feasible of the district's rural resources. The Lake Wateree area is full of natural resources, which is prevalent throughout the community, and if this is converted from which the purpose of the original zoning, this will be placed in jeopardy. 17.61 acres is due to be rezoned, and I feel that it will disrupt the peace of the community with the construction traffic, prolong the commute home, as well as the time length it will take to finish converting or clearing said property, which will be an inconvenience to members of the community. The construction will jeopardize the property value of my home or the future home of generations to come. Furthermore, I do not know what the intended use will be of the property. While researching the property that is up for rezoning, I see that Mr. Ivan Patricio Bacarizo is not a resident of Fairfield County, provided that his address is located in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I have numerous family members that have a vested interest, and they are planning to move here once they are retirement age and place a home on the family properties that we own that surrounds the property up for rezoning. Every year, family members from up north come into town during revival time and walk the family properties trying to decide where it would be a good place to build once they retire. They would like to retire down south due to the peacefulness and tranquility that I previously described. I also feel that all members of the community have not had a chance to dispute this rezoning. Community members such as Mr. Thomas Harrison, who is directly located beside said property. Mr. Harrison is currently hospitalized and has not had a chance to dispute if he wanted to speak or submit whether he is against or for the rezoning. I would like to keep it as an R1 zone so that many others may build and experience the greatness of the watery area that I have come to love and adore. Changing the zoning will jeopardize that, and I feel that it may change the landscape of the community and convert it to urban development, and eventually will not be families moving in, but it will land developers. Please take this in consideration when you are making a decision. I will be glad to discuss further if need be. Also, others that have a vested interest that reside out of state will be willing to speak if needed. Sincerely, Joyce Green. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. DeWitt. At this time, I will open the floor for questions and comments. Again, please state your name and welcome in Mr. Gauze. So state your name, any questions, comments, and we'll be glad to discuss. All right.
I was going to say anything. I could add. I just wanted to add one.
Yes.
If you don't mind. Mr.
Go ahead, Chris.
So I'm not 100% with the letter where some of the language was coming from with the ordinance, but I do just want to clarify that what the ordinance says. The intent of the RD1 rural residential district is to conserve sustain and protect forest and agricultural areas. The retention of open lands, woodlands, and farmlands, which make up a large part of the area, are essential to clean water, air, wildlife, many natural cycles, and a balanced environment, amongst other things. The district also provides a rural environment preferred by many people over subdivisions in higher density urban or community settings. So I'm not 100% what went on. She did say something about high density or urban development. This is not stating that. This is saying that is directly counter to what the intent of the
Yes.
district is. And I'm not trying
Right,
to.
no,
I don't know what she read into
Sure.
it, but this is not the intent of RD1.
not taken out of
Um,
context, sure.
And there's actually R1. It could have a higher density with the development than
Then
RD1.
RD.
So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to clarify that when you're taking things into consideration.
RD generally, RD1 is considered more of a rural setting, more rural than R1.
R1, you could have approximately 4 homes per acre.
Mm-hmm.
RD1 is generally limited to 1 home per acre.
Thank you. Ben, could I get your audio again, please, just to make sure we have you?
I'm here, Tess.
Okay, thank you.
Jeff, this is Randy. When you were speaking earlier, did I understand you to say that because the normal requirement is to have a residential building of which the outbuilding would be half the size, is he required to build a house at some point, or could it just be this workshop building that he's talking about building now? And did he say what his intention was there?
The strict interpretation, what?
So with RD1, I'm sorry to cut you off. With RD1, yes, he could just have the storage building.
Right.
So that would be permitted. With R1, it would not be allowed. And his intent at this time, he's saying he wanted it for storage, potentially like woodworking,
A shop.
and a shop. So that's his intent at this point.
And again, for personal use, not commercial.
And did he give any indication of where on the 17 acres he intends to locate the building, and might that, if he's going
No,
to be
sir.
away from them, he might give Ms. Green some comfort by knowing that he doesn't intend to locate close to any other houses?
No, sir. He did not indicate where he's going to be on the 17 acres, and I'm pretty sure Ms. Green, her property, I think there are at least 1 and perhaps 2 parcels between the subject site and her home. So she's not adjacent to this property.
I believe a relative is, though.
Does he have the right to harvest timber? I guess he could harvest timber on there if he wanted to, could he not?
You can harvest timber on any tract.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
a state.
Carolina law.
Yeah, that's a state statute. Yes.
And the timber has mostly been harvested off that site already. It was clear cut sometime back, probably a couple of years ago, something like that. Mr. Bacarizo may have purchased it after the timber was cut.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Jennifer. Do you guys hear me?
Yes.
So my question I was trying to ask earlier was, what was the proposed size that he was thinking he was going to make his shop?
The proposed size, I spoke with him today, and he said nothing is set in stone, but he's looking for something in the area of perhaps 30 feet by 50 feet, which would be approximately 1,500 square feet.
Okay, that was my only question. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I will accept any motions at this point.
I'll make the motion that we accept the recommendation to change the zoning from R1 to RD1.
I will second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the zoning from R1 to RD1, if I understand that correctly. I'm going to go by roll call to keep this simple since we have so many online now. If you're in agreement, signify by saying aye when I call your name. Ms. Barnes,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Mr. Gauls,
Aye.
Dr. Harris.
Aye.
The chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. Property is rezoned. Well, this goes to council, correct?
Council.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Will be presented to council. Yes.
If I could point one thing out as well. So we did, county council has moved to only one meeting a month. So we did already bring this for first reading at the last county council meeting, but it was in title only. So depending on what happened tonight, it would either stop at the second reading or move forward from there. So I just wanted y'all to be aware. It will go up for second reading October 12th or 13th, whenever that second Monday is. We would not have met the public comment period requirement. So the third reading would then be the public hearing before council. So I just wanted y'all to be aware of that as well.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Clausen. There is no, let's see, public comment, no old business, no subdivisions at this time. While I have the floor, I do have a couple of personal announcements. If I could have the attention of the commission. One is I'd like to thank Mr. Kelly for agreeing to continue to serve the citizens by extending his term on Planning Commission. Second, congratulate Dr. Harris on his primary victory. Good luck moving forward. And third, generally the term of chair is voted in for a 1-year time limit. I think I've served a little more than that. And although I think I'm uniquely qualified to serve on this board, I would like to continue to do that, but just not in the capacity of the chair. I think it's time for a fresh perspective and to give somebody else a chance here. So what I'd like to do is put in my notice that at the next meeting, if you guys could come with some nominations for chair, I would appreciate that. And I would accept those for a vote as a change at the next meeting, whenever that is. So if there's any questions or comments about that, I appreciate you letting me serve, and I continue to look forward to working with all you guys in the future, but on the other side of the table. All right. So thanks again. At this time, I'll accept any motions to adjourn the meeting.
This is Dr. Harris. I so move.
Randy Kelly seconds.
All right. All right. We're going to take a vote on closing the September meeting of Planning Commission. Respond favorably by saying aye. Ms. Barnes?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Gauls?
Aye.
Dr. Harris?
Aye.
And I vote aye. And thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Good night.